Before we get into today's chat, I want to share a little resource that we've just released. As you might know, in our checkout episodes, I ask our e-commerce guests, do you have a book or a podcast that you recommend our listeners get into? Well, I've taken all of those book recommendations, and there's over 100 of them, plus the stories that go behind them, and put them into their own book called The Book Recommendations of E-Commerce Experts. Yeah, I know, it's totally original. You will never, ever run out of reading ideas again. You can download that one now for free over on addtocart.com.au.
Welcome to The Checkout. We catch up with previous Add to Cart guests and ask them 5 quick questions to get to know them better and leave you with a little extra inspiration to get through your Friday. Here's your host, Bushy.
Today's checkout features Joel Azzopardi, co-founder and CEO of Freddy. Freddy make jeans that prioritize comfort and fit and look amazing on everybody thanks to their unique fabric technology. Joel acquired the distribution rights to the Italian clothing brand and built Freddy from there, developing a cult following in Australia and New Zealand and now expanding into the US and the UK. Joel, welcome to The Checkout. We've learnt a lot about what you're building with Freddy here in Australia and New Zealand, but also in the UK and the US. Really exciting journey, and especially as you move into physical retail internationally. We're here to learn a little bit more about you. 5 quick questions. Number 1, what's the weirdest thing that you've ever bought online?
I got into brewing my own kombucha during COVID. So some weird things I purchased online were pH strips and a carton of dirty, empty glass bottles.
Did it last long?
It did. I maybe a good 6 months or so. I think I need to try and get back into it again.
I do a neighbourhood trade. My neighbour over the back of us does the kombucha brewing, and we have limes and mint, and we just trade over the back fence. It's a great system.
Yeah, amazing. That's great.
Number 2, who is your favourite retailer?
At the moment, it's Bunnings. I think I'm there every weekend, so I've definitely got to say Bunnings.
New house or repairing a house or just?
Yeah, just renovated. So yeah, there's always something to do. So yeah, and I mean, who doesn't love Bunnings?
Dangerous, right? Dangerous. A lot of those little $100 invoices add up to a lot over a month.
That's exactly right.
Number 3, which e-commerce practice do you wish was history?
Buying multiple sizes in the same product to try on with the intention of returning the one that doesn't fit. I think it's bad for the environment, it's time consuming, and it's costly to the merchant and the customer. So I think there's got to be a better way to use technology to know what your size is.
Is it still a significant problem for Freddy?
Yeah, to a large degree, and it's something we've always had to address, and we're constantly optimizing. Thankfully, yeah, we're definitely seeing our return rates come down as a result of the things that we've implemented, and by having our real-time kind of live chat and a strong customer service team, we're able to kind of really identify and educate our customers who are new to the brand there and then.
Can you recommend a book or a podcast that our listeners should immediately get into?
2 books that I love and that I was able to really relate to are The Ride of a Lifetime by Robert Iger, who's the CEO of Disney, and the other one's got to be Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, who's the founder of Nike. I think, I've just really resonated with both of their stories, and they're really great reads with some really amazing tips in there.
Amazing. I think we've just hit a trifecta of Shoe Dog recommendations, and I'm not sure if it's the movie Air that's triggering everyone. Great book. I think it's our most recommended book by far, but our last 3 guests have all recommended Shoe Dog. So if you haven't read it, get into it. Tell us about The Ride of a Lifetime. What did you get out of that?
For me, regardless of how big or small a company is, you're faced with very similar issues and challenges. And I think that was the real kind of key to me. And I think Robert Iger has kind of been on a massive journey with Disney throughout his career, and he's able to use that experience to make really confident decisions, and it's been able to prove the success of Disney over the last 15 years or so, where he's been at the top, and they're just thriving as a result. And I think he's got his own little personal tips and experiences that he's learned along the ways. And for me, yeah, it just really resonated with what we're doing at the moment as well.
Great. And I love that because obviously you've got heritage there and, 1970 founded brand. It just goes to show that just because you're an established and large organization, there's no excuse not to be innovative and move forward.
Yeah, definitely. You constantly need to reinvent yourself or acquire other businesses or reinvent your proposition. And I think that's something that Freddie's been really great from the beginning, because Freddie started off making ballet shoes and in the dance industry really, really early on, and then it evolved and saw the opportunities within activewear and kind of really ride that wave of kind of dance throughout the 80s and 90s and became a really strong activewear brand up until now. And I think that's the credit to Carlo Freddi, who founded the brand. He's the genius that is constantly kind of reinventing the brand and keeping it relevant for today's consumer.
Beautiful. Have you met Carlo?
Yeah. A number of times I'll be seeing him in a couple of weeks' time.
How good to have that link to the past. Fantastic. All right, number 5. Finish this sentence. The future of retail is?
Being disruptive.
And what's your version of disruptive?
It's doing things completely different. It's especially when it comes to physical retail. I think the old model is dead, particularly with so many direct-to-consumer brands that are thriving online. There's got to be a better way to bring that to the real world without having to pay crazy rents that landlords and shopping malls are demanding. I think consumers want a different retail experience and they want to discover different brands in real life, and there's only so many Zara's and H&M's and shopping malls that you can go into which are basically exactly the same at the moment. So it's definitely been disruptive in that environment.
Love it. Disruptive it is. Joel, thank you so much for joining us on The Checkout.
Thanks for having me.
To hear more from Joel, jump back into episode 322, where Joel shares the secrets to Freddi's customer happiness. He also tells us the best way to organise a distribution model and the winning formula for influencer marketing. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep adding to cart.